Hey everyone, these are my clients' hands for this video. I love when my clients come with their hands untouched so that you can truly see the transformation. And so first I'm going to start off with pushing her cuticles back and using this carbide bit. It's like a cuticle bit to get rid of the dead skin and help further push back the cuticle so you can see that line of where we're going to end up clipping to get rid of this dead lifted skin. Don't wanna talk about it. Don't wanna leave without it. Give me the night without it. Do we like this so long when you alone? You gave me a lot too long when you leave. They'll say the word and I'll come running to. So I normally only use these bits when I can see that my clients haven't came back in a while and their cuticles have really overgrown. As you can see, her nails already look a whole lot cleaner just by me cutting off the free edge and shaping them up, getting rid of that dead skin. So right now I'm just going to be going in with my sanding band and we're just going to be buffing to get the shine off the nail and any remaining small pieces of skin that you may see still lingering on the nail plate. You want to get all of that off so that we can have the best adhesion when it comes to applying our acrylic and having some good retention. For her preferred shape on this set, she wanted to try out duck tips. So here I am on one hand kind of scoping out and getting the shape how I would like for it to be. I am using a different method than I normally would because I do have actual duck tip nails, but as you can see, we kept the duck from flaring out too much because this is her first go around with the flared look. And I do have actual duck tips, like the plastic tips to put on the nail, but since they flare out really fast, really wide, I decided that I was going to use taper square tips to start her base and then add the duck tip at the top so that we can still get that length without the duck being too fat and not complementing the size of her natural nails. So here I am applying the duck tips to the tips of the tapered square tips. There's no need to shape up the tapered square tips once you cut them. Just make sure all of the nails are even before you apply the duck tips. And before I apply the tip, I have a fast dry, like freeze nail spray that I spray on all the tips of the tapered square tips, just so that, I feel like I'm saying tips a lot, but like there's really no other way to describe it. If I say the top, you guys are gonna think like towards the nail plate, and I try to avoid. Anyway, so you wanna get all of the tips on, all the duck tips on at the end. And my rule of thumb when cutting for nail tips, do not try to cut them exactly the same, because you'll always end up cutting one shorter than the other. So when you're going to measure that other hand, cut just a little bit longer than the already shaped hand, so that when you go to shape, it ends up being the same size. As normal, you want to sand the duck tips that we've applied down a little bit so that they can match the square tips, but file as normal. What I'm doing right now with my sanding band is I'm just kind of cleaning up the edges, and right here, this is how you're going to create that moon shape at the tip, that curve that you see. So I'm just taking my sanding band and I'm angling it forward, if that makes sense, and I'm shaping it to where when looking down you want to see it start to curve. And from this angle, this is where you need to make sure you see the curve, because if you try to look at it from any other angle, it might not look how you think it's supposed to. But you don't want to over curve it, because then it's just going to make it harder for you after applying the acrylic to refile that curve once again. So I'm going to be showing you guys on this index finger the 3 bead method that I'm going to use. And this first bead that I'm starting off with, normally for beginners it would be a little bit smaller, but since I have been doing this for a while now, this is what I would like to consider a more medium to large bead. And this bead is going to establish my foundation. So with this bead, I want to be able to put it at my free edge and cover the tip completely. Now, if the nails were shorter, then obviously that bead would look a lot smaller and different. But since her nails are longer and flared at the tip, you want to make sure that first bead is going to get to the bottom, and you want to make sure the first bead is pretty even as you can get it, because the next 2 beads are going to be more focused at the cuticle and the apex area. And for this next bead, it's going to be just a little bit smaller than the first bead, and I'm going to be placing this bead at the cuticle. When you are placing a bead at the cuticle, do not place the bead right up on the skin, because you still have to give the acrylic the chance to spread. And normally a good acrylic or a good acrylic powder to liquid ratio within at least a minute, you should be able to get to this point to where the acrylic is very moldable and it's not runny. And so at this point, I could just put a little bit of liquid on my brush and it'll help me blend it down. And you want to just make sure you're not rushing the application. You don't have to constantly keep your brush moving against the acrylic. Sometimes you just need to let the acrylic do what it do so that it's easier for you to level it and build the nail. And so finally, for this last bead, I'm going to put this directly over the apex area. And again, do not overly pat the nail, and make sure when you are applying acrylic to know that you're building, you're just blending the edges and not wiping away all of the product. But at the end, your nail should look like this.
You know that's not all I want. The main that's what you ain't enough. How does everything change when I say oh yeah?
I'm using a medium barrel carbide drill bit to do some finish filing, and my normal routine is I definitely like to clean up the sides of the nails and reinforce the C curve at the tip. And I like to start from the bottom and work my way up. So from the free edge essentially towards the cuticle. And when you are going around the cuticle with a carbide drill bit, just be really careful and make sure your clients aren't moving, and hold their nail really steady so that you do not nick or cut them. And also, as you can see my thumb, I use it to pull back the skin to further ensure that I am not going to cut them.
You don't want you and gamble on my time, I don't play with it. Yeah, I roll the dice on you, baby. I hit a center, you can swing my way. And while you're at it, you could get a little taste. But you know that's not all I want. The main that's what you ain't enough. How does everything change when I say oh yeah?
For her design, we're going to be doing a really cute cheetah print French tip with some brown, pink, and some pink bling. And so the color for her French tip that I am using is going to be by Valentino Beauty Pure in the color Natural number 51. After finishing your French, creating the cheetah print design is actually really easy. You want to go in with a brown that is darker than the base color we used for the French, and you want to just kind of throw some dots around on all the nails, not too many, because as you can see I'm doing now with a black gel polish. I'm coming in, and first you want to outline those brown dots, but do not connect the black all the way around the nail. So just think about doing some parentheses around the dark brown dots, and then go in between those dots after you've outlined them, and just kind of add some black spots here and there, or just again parentheses. Make sure they're going in different directions. You want to fill up the nail without them touching, and enough for you to still be able to see that base color. But the more dots, the better. The less you think about the placement, the better. It's just going to look a little bit more natural, and that's all it is.
Even though I should gamble on my time, I don't play you know that's not all I want. The main that's what you ain't enough. How does everything change when I say oh yeah? We be going back and forth, acting like you're so unsure. But every time you hear it's like I'm on yours. I feel so quick to cut it up, but with you I can't choose. Got me on one. If I switch it up, flex on you, baby, you.
When top coating, a good tip is to keep some acetone or 90% alcohol nearby with a French brush so that at the end you can clean up around the cuticles to make sure there's no gel on the skin so that it doesn't burn in the lamp. And also you want to wipe the sides of the nails just in case any gel polish runs over, because you don't want your client to cure that and then the shape is ruined.
You hear me, I'll be going through it. I think I'm giving too much. Even though I shouldn't gamble on my time, I don't play with it. Yeah, I roll the dice on you, baby. I hit a steady, you can swing my way. And while you're at it, you can get a little taste. But you know that's not all I want. The main that's what you ain't enough. How does everything change when I say oh yeah? We be going back and forth, acting like you're so unsure. But every time you hear it's like I'm on yours. I feel so quick to cut it up, but with you I can't choose. Got me on one. If I switch it up, flex on you, baby, you lose.
As you guys can see, the nails came out really good. My client loved them. I love them. And if you like this video, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more content. Thank you guys for watching.